Nicks and Bruises, we back with another quick hits. I got my guy Sim in the building again. What's going on, Sim?
Chilling, man. Chilling. Just
Oh
trying to
God.
figure out what's going on with these playoffs, checking out the playoffs, watching Brooklyn burn, you know.
It definitely is fun to watch. You know what? Before we get into the next stuff, let's talk about that real quick and brief. Um, to me personally, I feel like KD is hurt. He doesn't look like himself. I don't know if it is the Boston defense 100%, but me personally, he looks hurt. What are your thoughts of what you see out there?
I don't know. I mean, he's saying that he's not, you know what I mean? Um, I think it's just this. I think part of it is the style of play that you know, that they're putting on him. I think they're like jamming him. They're not trying to let him touch the basketball. When they are, they're sending two people aggressively at him. You know what I mean? And I think and now because of that, he's passing it off to open teammates, right? So in the last game, he shot efficiently, I believe, but he just didn't shoot a lot. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say, man. But they came out with Boston came out with a super aggressive defense that um man is like it's tough. It looks like it's gonna be tough to break. And this could be set up really, really good for Boston to have to play Brooklyn in the first round.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And if they sweep them,
Confidence,
their
confidence
confidence is
builder.
gonna be sky high. They're gonna feel like, man, we just took out Kyrie and KD. You know what I mean? Uh, we ain't worried about nobody else. And V
And
Knuckles, who we just interviewed on the front stoop, you know what I'm saying, is gonna be, off the chain about it.
he say he bringing the brooms out tonight.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'm gonna have to send a email to be smooth. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to B Smooth. Shout out to V Knuckles as well. Enjoy your success with the Celtics. But enough of the green. Let's talk about the orange and blue. I'm gonna lead off with Mitch. He was seen at his old high school wearing a New York or nowhere shirt. You
Mhm.
know, could it be Mitch trolling? Could it be his true thoughts of wanting to be in New York? I'm gonna rock with his true thoughts. He wants to be here. Shout out to the chat. David L. He says 13 million for Mitch. I think that's a fair price. It you know if they could get it done. What are your thoughts, Sim? Do you think Mitch wants to be here? Could he be trolling? Because he does have the reputation of using the social media to
Yeah,
to to kind of say what he wants to say.
yeah. Nah, I think he wants to be here. I mean, I, there's always this outside noise, right? Mitchell Robinson ain't happy with this because of some things he posted, and he may not have been happy with maybe his role at some point or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like he posted something like, I'm just running up and down for exercise. That may not have been a shot at the team. That may have been a shot at himself.
Hmm.
He may have been saying, I'm not doing anything out here. I'm just running up and down for exercise. You know what I'm saying? So there's always all this outside noise from the media and from fans about what players are thinking and they're doing this and that. Where really Mitch might feel like, these guys gave me a shot. I wasn't even, I didn't even go to college. I had some trouble back when I was, with the whole college thing. They gave me a shot. Now I'm starting. I'm the starting center. They gave me a contract, and now I'm hoping that I can re up with them. You know what I mean? So I think it's real. I think he wants to be in New York.
I agree. Um, Price tag 13 mil. Are you okay with that?
I'm good
Do you
with
think?
that. I'm good with
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I think he's that's a good value for him. What he does defensively, I think is great, but his potential defensively is play defensive player of the year in my opinion, or at least in the running. Top five, top three in that running. And not saying he's there yet, but potentially
Right.
I think he could get there. Um, any concerns though? Because we all agree that we kind of need someone who has more of an offensive skill set at that position. If we do re-sign him, obviously we have the option to pick up on Sims as well. Do you think there's room for Mitch, Sims, and then potentially bringing in someone else that fills a different need at that position? Or do you think Taj and his recent 3-point shot that he kind of showed off at the tail end of this season, do you think Taj is enough that brings a different dynamic to that position?
I mean, Taj definitely brings a different dynamic, but he's going to be situational, and I think we need somebody in their 20s, you know what I mean? 26, 27, or whatever that can shoot the ball from the center position. My thing is, I don't know if there's enough room for Mitch, Sims, and a 3-point shooting center. I think there's only room for two. I mean, there's room on the roster,
Yeah,
but when you talk about actually playing in the game, I
and,
think there's only room for two.
and
So that would be,
rotation. Yeah,
yeah, that would be one shot blocking, rim running center and one shooting center, which means, somebody's going to be situational, which would probably be Jericho. You know what I mean?
I mean
If
Jericho and Taj.
Oh,
Like
Jericho
I
and
think
Taj, right, Jericho and Taj,
um
as long as that center is whatever center they bring in, as long as that center is a good shooting center, I mean, that center could be the one that's situational, I don't know, but I just think you gotta have one that can spread the floor. You got
all right.
to.
Let me ask you this then, because obviously Miles Turner is high on a lot of our list of potential guy we could bring in. But he comes with a price tag. He comes with the age and experience to where I don't think he can be brought in and be a situational guy, right? Is there a guy that you can see filling that role who would be situational or as needed, or let's say situation, not Tibbs situational where that means you're kind of out of the rotation, but situational as in brought in because of the matchup, because of the other team adjusting to the other team. Is there a guy you fit that you see as a lower scale guy than the Miles
I mean,
Turner?
uh, I see a guy like Kelly Olynyk.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what his contract is or anything like that right now, or what's going on, but a guy like him, I think you could put in that situation.
that's
You know
that's
what
a
I'm saying?
I like that. That's a great player that I think, not great player, but
Yeah,
that fits that situation.
yeah.
Kind of doesn't have the acclaim to beef about sitting on the bench this game and playing the next game, and so yeah, I
Right.
like that. So there are some guys out there. So I agree with him. Um, to a lesser degree. Damn, I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name, so I'll move on from that. Let's get into this Brunson Mavs talk. They are so first. There's been a report that Rick Brunson has said his son is not taking a discount to staying on the Mavs. Basically, he wants his money, no hometown discount. Then there's been reports, that the Mavs are not willing to accommodate in a signing trade. You had some interesting thoughts about those comments from the Mavs. I'll let you go ahead and give those comments, and we'll
Yeah.
deep dive into
Um,
this.
I think I think I think those comments are they're pointing them directly to the Knicks, to Leon Rose and company. You know what I'm saying? If you want them, you better find a way to clear some cap space because we're not going to assist you in signing away our guy, especially especially since you came and sat courtside in our arena to scout him. You know what I mean? Like you're letting this guy know you're tampering without tampering right in front of our face. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, "Nah, we're not gonna help you." Now it could be all smoke and mirrors, you know what I mean? But also could be real because they're already $30 million over next year's cap. So if they might be like, why would we bring back two other players when we can, not have to, he can go on and we don't have
Yeah,
to pay anything.
lose them for nothing and help our books.
Right.
Where if it's a sign and trade, we have to take back
You
some
gotta
salary,
take that
and
salary.
we're in the same position.
Right. Now it would still help them free salary for the next year, but they may want to. I mean, they got to pay 151 this year regardless. So they're not. I mean, next year they got to pay 151 next year regardless. They're not unless they uh unless they find somebody who's willing to take a salary dump. You know, um, they got that 151. They're paying that 151. The question is, are they going to pay 171?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And that brings up, the next question on the Knicks end. Well, before I get into the Knicks end, because not only was it a direct response to the Knicks, but I think it was a direct response to Rick Brunson
Yeah.
saying, you know, no, we're not taking no discount. You know, if you guys want us, you got to pay us to
Right.
keep it.
Right.
But for the Knicks, you know, this changes things. This means that there's some maneuvering that they're gonna have to
Yeah.
do to kind of bring this guy on. And so my question is, what do the Knicks do? How do we shed this salary?
Yeah, that's the thing. They got to shed the salary, man. Which it's going to be difficult, I think, to shed the salary. You got to find some people who are willing to. I, I I guess maybe it won't be difficult if you're willing to part with a draft pick. You can probably shed the salary, right? You got teams like San Antonio, Orlando. Yeah, you got some teams out there, Indiana. You got some teams out there who are going to be well below the salary cap next season, and they may be willing to bring in to take on a draft pick or to accept a draft pick and a player. You know what I'm saying? So that you can shed salary to bring in Jalen Brunson. If that's what it is that you want to do. It's just finding those teams, and maybe the Knicks have already had those kind of conversations. We'll find out during the draft, right? If we see that the Knicks traded the first round draft pick and Alec Burks to somebody, we'll know they did it so that they can clear cap space.
Yeah, especially if they're not giving receiving a player back.
Right.
Um,
So we'll see. Like, or it probably wouldn't be one team. Let's say it's Alec, a first round draft pick, 2023 second round draft picks, right? So, a first round pick and Alec Burks goes to this team, and Nerlens Noel and two second round draft picks goes to this team. You know what I'm saying? And the Knicks bring back nothing. They cleared space so that they can get Jalen Brunson.
Absolutely. I talked about it backstage before we went live that the front office has shown the ability to pull off some savvy moves in the past, but we've never seen it in free agency. We've only seen it really in the draft with moving down, acquiring another pick, flipping a pick for this or that. We've seen some real savvy with them doing that, but we haven't seen it in the free agency. So this is going to be like the first true test for them as far as, can they move some of these guys? Can they flip some of these guys? Can they open up cap space? Which is pretty weird coming from last year where we had all the space to now us saying we gotta figure something out to make more. Or
Right.
I'm confident that they can. I agree with you. We're gonna have to attach a pick. I let me ask you this: from the guys that we have, because I feel like Burks can be moved and we get a pick. So I don't think we would have to attach a pick for Burks in particular, being that he's a versatile veteran, can play multiple roles, multiple positions. I think he would be attractive to a contending team or a team that is trying to make a push for contention. The problem is most of those teams are over the cap. So
Right.
how do you get a Burks to be moved where you're not bringing back any salary?
Right.
Nerlin, guy who didn't really play all year long, I think he's a guy you got to attach the most value to as far as first round pick, as opposed to like those seconds, um, to entice somebody to take him on. And then Rose, I prefer to keep, but again, I don't think you have to attach a pick for to move Rose. I think he has value to some contending teams. I think Chicago would love to get him back. Um, the
I
question
think
is,
I think that's one of the moves that you might really look at. Rose makes $14 million right next season, and if you can move Rose to Chicago, who next season the Chicago Bulls salary for 2022 2023 is 100 million, right? So they're $22 million below, under the salary cap, right? A guy like Derrick Rose could be a nice addition to their team. He comes home, I heard someone say, well, they got Kobe White, they got this guy. Derrick Rose is better than Kobe White, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And they're trying to win a championship now. So that move could be possible, and they still have $8 million left,
mm-hmm.
to spend on somebody else. You know what I mean? So I think that could be a real possibility of Derrick Rose going to Chicago. Maybe a second round draft pick comes back to the Knicks or something like that. Then all of a sudden, that's $14 million freed up. The Knicks
And
will
that might
be.
do it right there. That alone might do it because I
It
think you
could
said we have about 3 million in cap space
2 million,
anyway.
but it's about 2 million in cap space right now. As long as that, if the salary cap is projected to come in at like 122 million, so the Knicks would have like 1.5 million in cap space. If they were able to move Derrick Rose to Chicago, which is a place he'd go, that's 14.5 million. So, that gives you 16 million right there. You got to find a way to get another $6 million to, another $6 million probably, right? Unless they say, hey, we'll give you 16 million this year, and then
It goes
18
up.
million next year, and then like if they increase the salary going forward. Also, Jericho Sims makes 1.5, right? So if you did not give a qualifying offer to Jericho Sims, that's going to save you 1.5 million. So that gives you
17.5.
17.5, almost $18 million, and now you're getting in the price range.
So yeah, and we could not give him the qualifying offer and still re-sign him, correct?
Yes. So so
So
so check this out. All right. Um, they probably wouldn't do it. Well, no, actually, they might do it. What if? And I know we're pipe dreaming. We do a lot of pipe dreaming. I like Derrick Rose, right? My favorite player on the Knicks, but I'm not opposed to moving him. So if you move Derrick Rose to Chicago and you do not give a qualifying offer to Jericho Sims, and you get enough money to sign Jalen Brunson, and then you move Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel in a first round draft pick. It's gonna have to be a first round draft pick as well to Indiana, and bring back Miles Turner.
I
Right.
like it.
So now you clean up the glut on the bench. You get Jalen Brunson, you get Miles Turner for that starting unit, and you got the glut cleaned up on the bench. There you go. I mean, we talked about something similar to this the other day. Jalen Brunson coming and Miles Turner coming at the same time. The possibilities are there, right? Because Indiana, Miles Turner makes $18 million next season. That's the last season of his contract. Both Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks, those are the last seasons of their contracts with the New York Knicks, right? And then there's a team option for the third year. So it's not like you
Indiana.
basically giving them a first round draft pick for Miles Turner.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or you do a sign and trade with Mitch. You know what I'm saying? The Indiana Pacers may want to be, they may want to be
There we go.
starting over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Right from
Next year.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they may not want to take on money. So those are some possibilities that are out there. I can see a way. I can really see a way that Jalen Brunson and Miles Turner end up with a New York Knicks. I could see a way that it happens.
Yeah. I mean that's kind of like what I'm pushing for. That's my hope for next season. Brunson, Miles Turner, keep Mitch, hopefully. If not, obviously Sims moves up in that rotation. If we keep Mitch, Sims is kind of like the rotational guy, or I'm sorry, the situational guy. I don't think his role switches up very much from what it was the entirety of the season for Sims. He could still be a guy who comes in when somebody's hurt. Obviously, Mitch and Miles are both guys that tend to have some injuries throughout the seasons every year. So Sims will have a role on the team. What I really love about the move for moving Rose, even though again he's one of my favorite Knicks as well, it gives quickly that solidified backup point guard role,
Right.
which I think he showed tons of improvement this year in, and then it takes quickly away from that two spot and opens up a spot for Grimes, Cam to kind of compete it out for the backup two guard. And then Cam is also versatile enough to play two or three, so he could back up RJ as well. It cleans up the entire glut of our of our organization, of our rotation. So I think that would be the best case scenario for us moving forward. I think it is possible. I think the priority though is getting this cap space, open up this cap space enough to bring Brunson in. Even like you said, even if it's 17, 16 million, if you could convince him to take that for the first year and whatever the max increases each year, we give you that. Because once you get him on that first year, it doesn't matter how much you're giving him moving forward because it's already under contract.
Right.
You just eating whatever it is against the cap.
Right.
So I think
And
it is possible.
I think that they could, if they could get Chicago to take Derrick Rose, I believe that they could find a way to get $18 million without, they could get $18 million.
Yeah, because now you're talking about
First year.
moving one of the young guys. Honestly,
What'd you say?
I said at that point you're talking about just moving one of the young guys as a dump. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I don't even think they would have, if they can get rid of Derrick Rose's 14 million, and to Chicago, then and that does Derrick Rose right. You're not doing it wrong by sending him someplace crazy, right? You know what I mean? Someplace he's going to feel comfortable. That's 14 million. Like I said, you got 1.5 million already. You know what I mean? So that's 16 million because Derrick Rose is actually 14.5. So that's 16 million. And then if you don't give the qualifying offer to Jericho Sims,
17.5.
that's 17.5. That's just about 18 million. You could
That's a
find,
good start.
I'm
That's a
pretty
good
sure,
starting point.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they could get it to 18 million. That's a starting point right there for them. Say, okay, you get 18 million the first year. The next year, you're going to
22.
go up to 22. The next year, you're going up to 25. You know what I mean? And you get him the contract that he wants.
I like it. I like it.
I think that could definitely work. Definitely work. And here's the crazy thing. Here's the crazy thing. You might even bring back a second round draft pick by trading Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Whoa. You might even bring back a second round draft pick.
I like it. This is back to back streams with me and Houston where we're putting this in the air of Brunson
You know what I
and,
mean?
and
And
Miles
Miles
Turner.
Turner. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna do an entire video maybe later on today. I don't know if you want to join me on Brunson and Miles Turner and what that might look like.
I'm with it. I'm with it. It gotta be late night. I picked up a shift tonight, but
Oh yeah,
but,
that's
but
right.
I'm definitely with it. And I gotta catch the tail end or the back half of Queen's Court once I get out. Everybody, make sure you go check out Queen's Court tonight. I believe 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a great show set up for you guys. I'll be on the tail end. This that's pretty much it, man. We quick hits with Sim. I'm gonna try to get one of these in a week too.
Mm-hmm.
Just random thoughts that we thinking of. Any quick news that come out.
Yeah, I might have to. I might have to do a video, a quick video on the Jalen Brunson thing, and then I push people to come over here and watch the full breakdown. I do like a 3-minute video.
Sound good to me, man. I appreciate it.
And watch, the rest of our convo.
I appreciate it. I want to keep putting this in the air. If you like the idea of Miles Turner, Jalen Brunson, bringing them on, let me know what you guys think. Does that make us a playoff team? Does it make us a play-in team? Are we in contention for anything? Give me your guys' thoughts on what you think. If you don't like the move, tell me that too. Sim, appreciate you joining me on the quick hits.
Appreciate
it. I'll see you next show.
All
Shout
right.
out to the chat, man. Yo, Black, it's time. We're gonna get out of here. Let me get my outro intro going, and we out.